My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content. Hey folks, welcome back. Today, zooming in from beautiful Riverside County in California, we have a very experienced real estate investor, Kathy Cuevas, who first got started back in 2007, built up a portfolio of 5 rental properties, and then 07, 08, 09, if you remember back then. A few things hit the fan at that time, real estate wise, and now Kathy is set with 3 properties in California, and she's pretty happy with that portfolio. So Kathy, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
So tell me a little bit about what sparked your desire to get into real estate in the first place?
I don't know what really sparked it other than as a child, I loved to play Monopoly and put hotels and houses on Boardwalk and Park Place.
Yeah.
But just coming home from vacation one day, we stopped off. We were vacationing in Palm Springs and stopped off and toured new homes and liked it. So I bought one. This big great rental. So I started from there.
Very good. So you got up to 5 rentals, and that was in the '07 time frame or prior to that, and then what happened?
I actually think I had 5 just a few years ago. I started with 3.
I see. Okay.
And then different things came up. A brother became homeless, so I sold one and bought one close for him to live in, and that worked out for a while. Then he moved out and so forth. So right now I have 3. I just sold my most recent one last September, I believe it was.
Okay, very good. So what's kind of your real estate investing philosophy? What determines if you buy or sell a property?
Well, probably the best thing I did is when I first started, I bought when the market took a crash. And '07, '08, '09, it basically plummeted. So 3 of the properties I bought back then sold for as high prior to that in the low to mid 300,000s. And I got each one of them for $92,000 to $95,000.
Nice.
So I still have one of those 3 left. That wasn't a problem child. So, I mean, that was actually, it was pretty good. So, they always say buy low, sell high.
Yeah.
But I'm not the kind of person like the flip or flop shows or fix this or fix that I don't go and buy something that's a dump because I don't have those crews to fix them up. I buy something minimal. It maybe needs new carpeting or new flooring or a paint job or, minimal appliances replaced or something. I'm not in there for a major overhaul of anything. So luckily they've all been pretty much just about move-in condition, pretty much.
Nice. Do you self-manage your properties? Are they fairly close to where you live?
Yes, I think all of them are now within, let's say, about 45 minutes or so. Some are south of Murrieta and one's in Riverside. So they're relatively close. I go check on them. I've got really good tenants right now. In fact, I actually have one empty. I had a long-term 11-year tenant just move out. So I'm looking to fill that one up and might be doing that this weekend.
Okay, very good. And what have been some of your big takeaways from being in the game for quite a few years now, as far as real estate as an investment?
Well, as an investment, it's been obviously very good. I told you the price I bought them for. The one I still have that I bought at $95,000 now sells for over $400,000. So that alone added to my bottom line, and 2 of my 3 I have are paid off. So it's 100% income coming in.
Yeah.
I don't like debt, being a financial background person. So if I can go in without having a mortgage, it's great. Because then if somebody moves out and if I don't have the funds to back it up, then I can quickly get in trouble. So I don't recommend ever overextending yourself. And I've been careful not to do that.
Well, if you got a couple of those California properties free and clear, yeah, you're definitely doing that very conservatively. And there's a lot to be said for that, Kathy. And I know you've got a background in finance, but it always kind of amuses me. We got some of these supposed big wheeler real estate investors and syndicators that, talk about umpteen hundreds of doors that they have in their portfolio. But when you really dial it in and see how much equity ownership they have and what kind of cash flow they have, I'd suggest quite often you're probably making better money off your free and clear properties than they are off their apartment buildings. So yeah, there's a
I'd
lot.
like to hope so. At least I'm comfortable for me. I mean, it's an extra vacation or something, so and I
Yeah.
can help family with it. So it's been a good safety net at times.
Yeah, I would imagine. So what are your plans moving ahead with real estate? Do you want to keep buying? You want to kind of consolidate and pay off the one that's not quite free and clear yet? Or where do you see things going?
I've had different aspirations. I think for about 5 years, I wanted to have a self-storage facility, but
Yeah,
not in
that was all the
California.
rage for quite some time. Yeah.
No, it's just that I can't do that in California because they tax so heavily here. And
Yeah.
looking at what I want, I studied, I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he has a YouTube channel and he suggests don't ever buy anything with under 200 units and a mixture of sizes. So I was thinking like Florida or a no tax, Nevada, some no tax state. But then the cost to buy something like that was well over $1 million to $2 million, which I didn't have, and I wasn't willing to leverage that buying a C class property,
Mm.
and then making it, up to a B class property. So that wish and pipe dream ended after about 5 years. I think now I just want to keep what I have, including the home I live in. So that's four altogether, and they're in
Mhm.
my trust to go to family and then they can do with that as they wish. And looking at my family, they can use the income from, especially the ones that are paid off. So
Yeah.
um, I don't really have any aspirations to buy any more at this time.
Mhm.
I just sold one last September because of the headaches that came with it. So that was the one I owned probably for the least amount of time.
Mm.
Um, but it's overall is good to have long term, and especially like you mentioned, if they're paid off. The first ones I bought were all bought with cash because I had either cash or equity in my home. I was able to tap into and buy them and then pay off the loans almost immediately.
Yeah.
So that's the way to go. But with prices these days, that's impossible. I think that ship sailed, although I know the housing market might crash again, but to go that far down, it won't. So you really have to have equity to get in it and stay in for the long haul and be a good landlord. So I've learned how to
Mm.
manage them well. I've learned websites to use to, marketing and things like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That is really good. So the one that still has a mortgage on it, do you have much of a mortgage or not really?
About 160, I think, and it's
Mm.
worth over 550, 575.
Nice.
So
So are
I
you
don't.
trying to accelerate the pay down of that mortgage or you don't really care so much?
Um, at first I thought yes, but now I'm thinking I don't care because of the write-offs. And I know some people say don't
Mm.
trip over a dollar to save a dime type thing. But for me, having that one and when it's empty, the other ones will make up the income if it should ever stay empty. But typically my properties rent really quick. There's usually a line before the other one moves out.
Yeah.
But that hasn't been the case this last year. So
Mm.
I'd be very concerned about having the mortgage if I didn't have other means to continue making the payment.
What's happened with comparable rental rates in your area over the last couple of years? Have they gone crazy like everywhere else or stayed
Um,
fairly stable?
They went up a little bit, I would say in Riverside County, because all my homes are in Riverside County where I live. They went up maybe two, three, $400, but I always keep my tenants 1 to 200 under market to hopefully to keep them that way. But this year, I'd say in the last 4 months they've gone down $1 to $200. So right now, one of my tenants is paying almost market rent. So I
Mm.
did not give them a rent increase this year because I will not do that to them. So
Mm.
I do keep an eye on that, which is, I'm glad you brought that up. You always should. It depends if you want to be a good landlord, you got to keep up with what the pricing are and make sure you stay under that, especially when you have a good tenant. You don't want to lose them. Like that one I had for 11 years, he was my longest tenant.
Yeah.
He took care of the place, so I was very fortunate.
Yeah, I've heard a couple of schools of thought around that. That's definitely a very, very common one. The other one is some people really prefer to have a more constant turnover of tenants because then they can bring the rent up to fair market value, which, if you got somebody, especially with the rules and regulations in California, I don't think you can, there are kind of rental controls, aren't there?
There are some in some counties, but not here in Riverside
Oh,
County.
okay. So you
LA
can,
County for sure.
oh, okay, I see. So yeah, up here in Canada, certain provinces have rental controls where you're not allowed to increase the rent more than 2 or 3% a year, if
Mhm.
even that, no
Yeah.
matter what's going on with interest rates or anything like that. So some of the landlords up here, they prefer turnover because, especially if they have somebody in paying 11 years ago rent, in their house, they're losing big time. But sounds like you don't have that problem.
Not typically, no.
Yeah. Cool. Well, it sounds like things are you've found a very, very happy medium. I see financial freedom pathway in the background there. What's that all about, Kathy?
I was a personal finance teacher for 13 years in high school, and it was a very rigorous course, probably at the college level. And for the last 20 years, I've been helping friends and family doing budgeting or saving for to buy their first home or for a car, or to pay down debt plan, and how to pick the best funds within their limit of the company they work for. So after I retired 3 years ago, I thought, I'm getting kind of bored. I'm traveling the world, so don't get me wrong, I'm loving retirement life. But I thought, I want to help more people. So this is out of more like my heart's desire to help people, not to go through some of the hard stumbles I went through when I almost lost a house I lived in way before I even bought rentals. So I'm hoping through the online arena, I'd be able to spread out and help more people doing that.
So if people want to connect with you, where should they go? What should they do?
They can go to my website. It's up. It's not totally 100%, but it's the best thing I got so far. It's financialfreedompathway.us.
Perfect. Kathy, thanks so much for being on the show.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the honor.
All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you on the next one. Hey there. I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewyou.com. Now, at moneypartnerformula.com, we help real estate investors to create a process for predictably getting capital so they can do more deals without relying on hard money lenders or the banks. We do this by building them a private capital marketing system. Now, if you want help turning yourself into a big money capital attraction machine, then book a call with our team to see how we can help. Just visit moneypartnerformula.com to find out more. All right, take care, and we'll see you on the next interview.